Nepalese across the country are celebrating the second day of Vijayadashmi by receiving Tika and blessings from elders today as well. The auspicious time of receiving Tika began from yesterday morning, which can be received until 13th of October on the day of Gareth Purnima, according to the Hindu calendar. Dasai is mainly the celebrations of victory of good over evil and exchanging greetings and joy among loved ones. Good morning, I'm Amit Bakaril and these are the top stories. This are Nepalese across the country celebrating second day of Vijayadashmi by receiving Tika and blessings from elders today as well. All 3 tiers of government fails to implement federalism 4 years since promulgation of constitution. Experts attribute lack of coordination between the central and provincial governments. White House officially refuses to cooperate with the impeachment inquiry against US President Donald Trump. And Nepal playing against test-playing nation Ireland at the T20 series at Oman later this morning, a chance for Nepal to maintain its unbeaten streak. With the onset of the Tika on the day of Vijayadashmi yesterday, Nepalese across the country are receiving Tika and blessings from elders today as well. According to Chairman of Nepal Calendar Determination Committee, Ramchandra Gautam, Tika can be received until 13th of October, which according to the Hindu calendar is the day of Gareth Purnima. The festival is also the time when families come together to celebrate the biggest festival of the country. The festival is basically about spending time with family members and loved ones, having different delicacies, exchanging greetings and blessings, celebrating the victory of good over evil, and offering prayers to Goddess Durga. Meanwhile, President Vidya Devi Bhandari received Tika as per the Vedic traditions yesterday on the occasion of Vijayadashmi. The President received Tika from the main priest of Hanuman Thoka and the priest of President's office. Likewise, the President also offered Tika, Zamara and blessings to the main priest and other Brahmins. The President also received Tika and Zamara from her mother, Mithila Pandey. President Bhandari and Prime Minister Oli offered Tika to the general public, party cadres and well-wishers at the respective residences yesterday. The city roads looked lively and bustling as many people were commuting to visit their relatives till late yesterday. Markets were full of people buying fruits among others to take them as gifts to their relatives. After receiving Tika from elders in the family, many traveled to their relatives to receive the blessings.
आउने चार रमाइलो भयो खुसी लाग्यो सबै परिवारसँग बसेर टिका लगाइयो अब अहिले म माइती जादै छु
पीठहरु पूजा गरिन्छ अष्टमीको दिनमा नवमीको दिनमा हिजो काटमार गरिन्छ मन्दिरहरुमा पूजा गरिन्छ नवमीको दिनमा सबै पीठहरु घर घरबाट पूजा गर्ने यो दुर्गा भवानीहरु मन्दिर सबै ठाउँमा गइन्छ र आज चाहिँ टिकाको दिनमा मेन घरमा टिका टालो गरेर अनि आफन्तहरुमा गइन्छ.
While some received Tika only on the 10th day of the same, many others traveled to their loved ones till the full moon day for Tika. Let's move on to the national political updates. Constitution expert Bipin Adhikari has said the challenges in implementing the constitution remain the same and that all 3 tiers of government had failed in its implementation despite the lapse of 4 years since its promulgation. Adhikari is of the opinion that the political parties indulging and playing games has resulted in the complications despite the constitution including plenty of provisions to address the challenges in implementing federalism.
संघीय संसद छ उनीहरुले करिब करिब 130 वटा कानुनहरु बनाएको देखिन्छ जसमा संशोधन विधेयक पनि नयाँ कानुनहरु पनि पर्दछन् र ती अधिकांश हाम्रो संघीय परिपाटी कस्तो हुने भन्ने बारेमा ती कानुनहरुले निर्देशन गर्दछन् र त्यसलाई चाहिँ नियमन गर्दछन् त कानुन नआएको होइन कानुनहरु प्रशस्त आएका छन् प्रदेशले कानुन मात्र नपाएको नीति मात्र नपाएको भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ होइन कतिपय अधिकारहरु पाए पनि जस्तो भनौं न खर्च वर्ष गर्ने अधिकारहरू त प्रदेशहरूसँग छ नि त। तर हामीले देख्दछौँ कि पुँजीगत खर्च एकदम अधिकांश प्रदेशहरूमा आधा पनि हुन सकेको छैन। त्यसको कारण केवल सङ्घीय सरकार मात्र होइन, तर त्यसको कारण चाहिँ हामीसँग जुन एउटा कपासिटीको कुरो छ, क्षमताको कुरो छ, कर्मचारी प्रशासनको कुरो छ, त्यस्तै चाहिँ प्रविधिको कुरो छ। अब यी कुराहरूमा सङ्घीय सरकारसँग प्रदेश सरकारहरूले पर्याप्त रूपमा एउटा अपेक्षा राखेका छन्, जुन पुरा हुन सकेको छैन र प्रदेश सरकार आफैले पनि गर्न चाहँदाखेरि गर्न नसकेको, नपाएको परिस्थिति छ।
There was a lack of coordination between the centre and the provincial governments. Likewise, provincial government had not been able to hold adequate number of meetings to address the issues. Adhikari said the 3 tiers setup of the Nepal government was unique. However, the failure to perform shows lack of change. Adhikari suggested the implementation of constitution and its provisions alone would be enough to achieve the transformation that the country has desired. However, in order to make that happen, Adhikari suggested leaders needed to bring change in their moral. Adhikari also opined democratic leaders needed to prioritize and address the issues of marginalized and underprivileged groups. And time now for a short break. For more news, do stay with us. Welcome back after the break. The Nepal Electricity Authority has expedited construction of substations and installation of transformers in order to deal with the fluctuating voltage problems and other lapses. There was a time when Nepalese in majority of the parts of the country were accustomed to spending nights using candles due to load shedding. However, despite load shedding no longer being the problem, there had been lapses in electricity supply due to fluctuating voltages. Managing Director for Nepal Electricity Authority, Kulman Kising, has prioritized establishing infrastructure to provide better quality electricity to the public. Under Kising's leadership, the authority has installed around 10,000 additional transformers in 3 years. The authority claims the newly installed transformers have increased its capacity by 1,000 megawatts. Likewise, the authority has constructed 764 substations in 3 years. Likewise, the authority has constructed 14 new transmission lines in the past 3 years. However, private investors are not satisfied with the authority's work, citing installing substations and transformers are its regular jobs. Private investors have stated that the electricity produced through their hydropower is going wasted due to authorities' sluggish pace in constructing transmission lines. Meanwhile, the authority's hydropower projects have not gained the desired momentum either. Experts suggest quality service and cheap electricity is possible if the authority completes the construction of its hydropower projects at the earliest. It's time now for the international update. The White House has officially refused to cooperate with the impeachment inquiry against President Donald Trump. A letter sent to Democratic leaders rejected it as baseless and constitutionally invalid. 3 Democratic-led House committees are investigating Trump. The inquiry is trying to find out the president held back aid to Ukraine to push it to investigate Joe Biden, who is running for the Democratic presidential nomination. The White House letter comes hours after the Trump administration blocked the U.S. ambassador to the European Union from appearing before a congressional impeachment investigation. White House counsel Pat Cipollone addressed the 8-page letter to the leading Democrat and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the 3 chairmen of the Democratic committees. They accused the leaders of setting up an inquiry that violates fundamental fairness and constitutionally mandated due process, specifically by not holding a vote on launching the inquiry. The letter accuses Democrats of trying to change the 2016 election result and attacks the investigation as constitutionally invalid and a violation of due process. Two weeks into the House of Representatives impeachment inquiry, the U.S. is approaching a constitutional crisis. And time now for another short break. For more news, do stay with us. In our Public Voice segment, we'll ask the locals in Midwestern District of Tang what blessings did they receive from the elders or what they best out to the younger ones on the day of Vijaya Dasami yesterday. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
साना नानीहरूलाई चाहिँ राम्रोसँग पढ्नु
राम्रो संस्कार सिक्नु अहिलेको यो परिस्थिति अनुसारको छल कपट जुन भइरहेछ त्यस्तो चाहिँ नगर्नु आफूभन्दा सानालाई माया गर्नु आफूभन्दा ठुलोलाई आदर गर्नु देशको सेवा गर्ने खालका तिमीहरूले राम्रो काम गर्दै जानु
परिवार समाज र राष्ट्रको लागि समृद्धिको लागि उनीहरूले सधैँ आफूलाई क्रियाशील बनाइरहन् र भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त र सहनशील र इमानदार कर्तव्यनिष्ठ भएर आफूलाई प्रस्तुत गर्न सकुन्।
टीका र जमराको साथसाथै उनीहरूको दीर्घ आयुको शुभकामना उनीहरूको सुस्वास्थ्यको शुभकामना उनीहरूको चाहिँ मनोकामना पूर्ण होस् भन्ने किसिमका आयुहरू हामीले दिने गर्दछौँ।
देवी भगवतीको जस्तै शक्ति होस् भनेर भन्छौँ। सरस्वतीको जस्तो बुद्धि होस् बुद्धि दिने जीवनमा बास होस् भनेर आशिष दिन्छौँ।
ज्ञानी हुनु राम्रोसँग आफूभन्दा ठुलोहरूलाई आशीर्वाद लिनु होइन आदर गर्नु सानालाई माया गर्नु भने त्यही बुवा मम्मीबाट आशीर्वाद पाए।
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what should be done to promote Nepali tea in the international market? And options are A, focus on quality, B, prioritize branding, and C, take diplomatic initiatives. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now the sports update.
Sports news.
Nepal is to play against test-playing nation Ireland later this morning at the T20 series ongoing at Oman. The match is scheduled to begin at 11:15 a.m. Nepal time at Amarat Stadium. Nepal is so far undefeated in the tournament, defeating Hong Kong by 4 wickets in its first match at the Netherlands by the same. Meanwhile, Ireland had defeated the Netherlands by 6 wickets, however, had faced a 43-run defeat in its second match against host nation Oman. The Irish team have a heightened confidence after defeating Hong Kong by 66 runs in its third match. Should Nepal win the match against Ireland today, Nepal will make history by defeating a test-playing nation. Ireland is ranked 12th in test-playing nations and 11th in the one-day international ranking. Meanwhile, Ireland is 4 ranks below Nepal in the T20 rankings. Nepal is at the 11th position in the T20 rankings, while Ireland at the 15th position. Nepal had faced Ireland back in 2015 at the T20 World Cup qualifiers, where Nepal had been defeated by 8 wickets. Ireland was an association team nation then and received test status only 2 years back. Gareth Bale wants to quit Real Madrid but expects to see out the season as the Spanish giants. Bale has a cool relationship with Madrid boss Zinedine Zidane after the Frenchman tried to force him out in the summer. He was set to join Chinese side Jiangsu Suning for free on a 3-year contract, earning £1 million a week, but Real aborted the deal as they wanted the transfer fee. Bale, who turned 30 in July, had since reintroduced into Real's side, making 7 appearances and scoring twice. He was unimpressed at being left out of the squad for last week's Champions League draw with club brothers, but returned to the starting lineup for the 4-2 win against Granada on Saturday as Real top La Liga. Bale is more determined than ever to leave, but club officials have told him to see out the season before reviewing his future in the summer. Nepal is playing against Australia in the third match of the second round of the World Cup football qualifiers tomorrow evening. The match is to begin at 5:45 p.m. Nepal time. Nepal may be the football minnows and rank outsiders to beat Australia on their own path in the AFC World Cup qualifier, but they'll have strident support in the stands. The Nepalese community in Australia numbers around 100,000, around half of which are estimated to live in Sydney, and that they will be travelling en masse to the nation's capital. The first batch of 5,000 tickets reserved for Nepalese fans sold out within an hour. With more tickets now released, some within the community believe there could be as many as 8,000 cheering on the visitors. In the 2 games with Kuwait in March, Nepal drew goalless draw and lost 1-0 against frustrated Middle Easterners. And before we wrap up, a reminder of the top stories. Nepalese across the country celebrating the second day of Vijaya Dasami by receiving Tika and blessings from elders today as well. All 3 tiers of government fails to implement federalism 4 years since promulgation of constitution. Experts attribute lack of coordination between central and provincial governments. White House officially refuses to cooperate with the impeachment inquiry against President Donald Trump. And Nepal playing against test-playing nation Ireland at the T20 series ongoing at Oman later this morning. A chance for Nepal to maintain its unbeaten streak. And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a good day.